Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Pink Panther Minute. This is the podcast where we discuss non-Pink Panther movies that are suddenly interrupted by the Pink Panther. I'm your host, Cato.
Well, I'm just buttling my way through this minute, one tapestry at a time. I'm the Admiral of the Castle, Pete Mubbert.
I'm, I don't know. But who's the other guy who used to be in the Pink Panther? Oh, I'm the little inspector guy from the Pink Panther.
You mean the Inspector Clouseau?
I guess it is Inspector Clouseau, isn't it? But he looks more like, whatever. I'm Inspector Clouseau. I'm Tom Taylor. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, I don't either. But we're excited to welcome Panther and Jackal Hunter extraordinaire Andrew J. Hawthorn all the way from Newfoundland. And I have to confess, Andrew, even I have been a jackal for at least one moment of this movie. So it's probably a good thing you're here. Welcome back.
I'm just glad you had me back on a podcast. You finally introduced me. I'm deranged.
What movie are you referencing? I'm confused.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I just had kind of a dissociative fugue there for a second. What are we talking about?
Well, that's perfect intro. We're talking about minute 46.
Of the Pink Panther?
Of the Pink Panther.
Okay, cool.
Or Last Crusade.
All right.
Take your pick. It begins with Indy asking Elsa what she knows about the castle that they've just pulled up to, and it ends with the butler telling them that this is indeed a castle.
Is this external shot of the castle, is that a matte painting?
No, it's an actual footage of Schloss Burgesheim in Germany, but then it's got, I think, some matte elements added.
Okay.
Yeah, the actual castle doesn't appear to be this creepy from the outside.
Yeah.
Right. And they pull up. Did you guys notice the door on the castle? It's
the mini door inside the door?
Well, there's the first. Yeah, there's a mini door inside the big door, but it's also striped like blue and white.
That's pretty common in this area, actually.
Is it a crest thing?
I don't know that it's a crest. I think it's just kind of a traditional sort of Bavarian way to decorate woodwork. I remember I spent some time there. My wife was doing some academic stuff there, and while visiting her, we toured around and saw a lot of doors like that and a lot of castles like this.
And then what would be an example where you would open the big door instead of the little door?
I guess you got to get a tank in there.
Yeah. Well, you would let the horses in the big door, and you would let the people in the little door.
Oh,
The horses, really? Wow.
Yeah,
because originally the castles were the knights would ride their whole horse, and the whole retinue would come into the castle.
Ah, I see. That's how it'd be. What about if somebody came up and they said, "Well, bust my buttons"?
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Were they going to? Can you open the little door?
That's a horse of a different color. What is it about like castles, and we're talking about Bavarian color schemes and stripes and everything? Why does that always make me think of Disney World or Disney stuff, like 60s and 70s Disney movies?
Because Disney was really inspired by this area, especially Cinderella's castle is based on Neuschwanstein, which is a castle in the area that looks almost exactly like this one, but substantially bigger. What's interesting about the castles in this area, though, is that most of them are kind of fake. Like, they were created because the monarchs at the time, I don't remember the name of the particular one, this one guy who was kind of nuts and forced out of power, were just obsessed with the fantastic kind of Arthurian idea of the Middle Ages and medieval times. And so they built all these fake castles that were what they thought castles should look like Neuschwanstein. Mm-hmm. Now, this castle isn't one of those. I think this one's actually a medieval castle. So I guess it has...
Yeah, this one's actually not in Bavaria.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Okay, Andrew.
Yeah.
You seem like... You know stuff about this area.
Hey, back at you.
This Bavarian place. What now? Is it Grunwald or Brunwald?
Well, in the original draft, it's Grunwald, and that got changed by Tom Stoppard, I've read, for some reason. I don't know why.
Yes. That's right.
Maybe
I don't either. I don't know. I read that too. Why would he change it? Like, not Grunwald.
I don't know, but Elsa says Grunwald.
she does, yeah. So she probably has an earlier version of the script here.
She didn't get the pink pages.
It's weird. Yeah.
And so did the Brunwalds did they make their fortune off art collecting? How did they make their fortune?
Like the fictional family, the Grunwalds?
Yes, the fictional family, whichever. You can answer it however you want.
Well, they're on the Austrian-German border. I assume that they made their fortune off of hiding kids from the Sound of Music and taking all kinds of bribes from them. No, I guess that wouldn't have happened yet.
You know, what's weird is if you go to the Indiana Jones Sankarapedia, whatever that stuff, that Wikipedia nonsense,
It's not called Archipedia.
I don't know. The Chachapedia. It literally has a list of all the Brunwald's art collection in 1938. It has a list of like 20 paintings that belong to the Brunwald's art collection, and as far as I could tell, they're weird and fictitious. Like,
Well, I think part of that, I think one of the video games had, you would go into the castle and you would interact with some of the paintings, so that might be part of it.
Oh,
is that what it is? Because I didn't understand it. It would be like, boy next to wall.
Yeah. No, I mean, spoilers for the next minute, but I probably spent more time than I should have trying to figure out what the tapestry they're looking at in the next minute is. And Googled a lot of this stuff,
right?
And I couldn't find anything, but I did find all that video game stuff Pete mentioned. And I think because there were like the two big DOS games, right? There was Fate of Atlantis, and there was a game based on this movie. So I guess it was probably one of those things where you just clicked on any tapestry, and it gave you like one or two lines that were kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
that was big at the time.
What? In the video game, why weren't you just like yanking on tapestries? Why did they go with
Well, that's because you're playing the wrong game, man. You got to download Tap Yankers.
I did, and it's not at all what I thought it was going to be.
He was grounded
My
for
mom
weeks.
caught me, and I got in a lot of trouble. Yeah.
Bye you.
Why did I noticed that Indiana Jones? We since Temple of Doom, we've noticed this. Like when the Indiana Jones outfit comes out, and here he apparently got into his Indiana Jones outfit to ride for however many hours in the car to drive to the Austrian-German border. And I'm only just bringing that up because like what constitutes a day when Indy says, okay, I need the hat, I need the jacket, I need the pants, I need the whip, like because up until this point in Vienna, he's just been in a suit and he's looked like we were saying he looks like Air Force One or something, and it's
he's had the hat on with the suit though, has he not?
He has, which freaks me out a little bit.
But he hasn't usually had this tie. I think he like licked his hair and combed it down and put on the tie because he's with Elsa. He's trying to impress Elsa today.
Yeah.
I like the tie with the Indy suit. I like the tie a lot.
I disagree. I don't think it's Elsa because he's been in this outfit with women before. And just relied on his raw animal charm to carry the day instead of dressing it up. I think it's because he's about to meet his dad.
Oh,
so he's got to button up his shirt and put a tie on.
Crazy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like class picture day or something.
He looks like it's class picture day.
Yeah, it's weird. We don't even really see the tie until the next minute when they're wandering through the halls.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if you're familiar with the way Indiana Jones looks, like even if you're familiar, you might miss that he's wearing a tie for some reason.
Yeah, it took me a while to notice. Yeah.
Yeah, but because he never wears it after. It is a good look, and it totally fits in with the outfit. But I think it's just he's wearing his traditional togs because it's good weather to wear that. He's got a heavy leather jacket and a hat. It's raining out. It makes sense to be wearing this. And he's about to do action, so he needs his action stuff.
Right.
But he's also about to like see his dad for the first time in several years and like introduce him to his new girlfriend and all this stuff. So he's got to kind of dress up.
Yeah. He's bringing his diploma.
Yeah.
Things he's earned since then.
Yeah.
Since they last saw each other.
When Indy brandishes his whip, does Elsa think that he's going to ask her to suck on his mother's ears?
What?
She smiles. She's into the whip. Yeah, she does
She's
a little
way
smile.
into the whip, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's going to be more like castle play
right.
and catacomb dungeon play. She gets
Okay, I'll
excited.
be an archaeologist adventurer.
This scene in the car, this encapsulates everything great about the two performances of these two actors. I love just this couple of seconds. Harrison Ford, he's just got this really studied, pitch perfect, just completely lackadaisical delivery for, don't know, think of something. Like it's a perfectly indie delivery. But Alison Doody, is great here too.
Duty.
Just don't say that. She's like the slight jump she gives as she sees his whip is something that she does throughout this movie when something is shocking to her, like you can kind of see it affect her. And then like her self-consciously slowly adjusting her beret right after that. It's just this really great. They're both really great at portraying their character without telling you what their character is thinking or feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When there's a bizarre undercurrent to this scene, though, in the novelization of this movie. And I bring this up because I read it in grade 6 for a book report, because this is all I was thinking about in grade 6. And,
Awesome.
and there's a scene, I believe this takes place right after them making out in Venice, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's the ear sucking moment.
Right.
In the book, I'm pretty sure there's this strange inner monologue on Indy's part where on this whole drive up to the castle, he's daydreaming about them getting a cottage together so that they can like grow old and have more sex later.
Wow.
What?
Why do they have to wait to grow old before they have sex together? That's weird.
Oh no, I mean the whole thing. He's just like, oh, maybe after this we'll retire to a cottage in the woods and do that stuff like we were doing in Venice again. It's just this really strange. Like, is this really what Indy's thinking about all the time?
That totally tracks with everything we've ever said about him in any makeout scene. Like that he's like a 15-year-old kid who doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just mean to the girl he likes, and then he ends up making out with her. So that's wow, I guess we're going to get married now and get a cottage and grow old together? This is great. I'm a man
What he
now.
really wants is that white picket fence? That's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That might be like a Bavarian striped picket fence if they buy it out here or something.
I don't like the fact that he's wearing a tie.
You don't like
You
it?
don't like that?
No, I just noticed
waiting
that.
for you to
That's
say that.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's weird.
No, it's-
Why would
I
he
think
have a
it's good.
tie on? Why would he have a tie on? Who robs graves in a tie?
Have you been listening to the last 10 minutes of the show, Jerry?
I know,
Our guest
but I
Andrew
just
had an excellent idea of why he was wearing
no,
a tie.
it's true. It's true. It was good. He's getting it ready
right.
for his dad. But
So in truth, I should bring up, this is the first Indiana Jones movie I saw. So I had no idea there was anything weird about his look here, because, you know, like it's like this is the movie where he's Indiana Jones. In the first movie, he's lost his tie somewhere. In the second movie, he's only wearing a shirt with one sleeve. Like, it's just different flavors, right? But so this was the first Indiana. This is probably the first time I ever saw him in this getup for this scene when I was very, very young.
Yeah, he's got it on at the Cortez or whatever, the boat at the
Oh, he
beginning.
does, yeah.
But it's dark and wet and crazy, and it's hard to see. Like, I could see that a new viewer just totally missing the outfit in that scene.
Yeah.
What do you think Elsa's plan is here? Is she just planning to go along with Indy to kind of keep him mollified as long as she can, and then when a moment arises that she can, she'll grab help and they'll nab him?
Yeah, she's probably thinking like, oh, we're on my turf now, and all I have to do is follow him. Like, there's nothing that can go wrong now, because like if he finds his dad, they'll barge in with guns. If he doesn't find his dad, I could, I guess, does she want him to find his dad?
I don't think it matters. She has less a plan as an objective. Like, she's making this up as she goes as much as he is, because she needs to figure out what he knows and where the Grail diary is. And so she's going along with it until she already knows that he has it, so she's just kind of going along with it to figure out what he knows and how she can take that. This is great for her because she's probably seeing a way out. Like, great, I can lose this facade pretty shortly, and we'll just have him in our clutches. But for now, she's just kind of making it up.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to also glean any tactic she can for, like, okay, here's the eminent archaeologist, Dr. Jones. I'm gonna see what I can pick up on how he gets things done, what his methods are, Because he even says that to her in Venice. He's like, you like the way I do things, And so I think she's like, how does this guy go around and find all these artifacts? I mean, he's the illustrious guy with the whole Ark of the Covenant and the whole, he's got a name. She's hoping some of that knowledge will rub off.
Maybe.
And she doesn't care. He's gonna get, she's fine. She's a Nazi. They're gonna get her stopped. She's gonna get, stopped in a few minutes.
Plus, I think that she thinks that there's more in the diary than just the map. Come to that yet? And so she's got to figure out what else they know,
Yeah.
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 She's going to sleep with as many Joneses as it's going to take to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
She's raring to go. She's got to do she'll do what it takes. Now what? Okay, so Indy gets a light bulb over his head, looking at her beret, and so they go in and he's dressed as her and she's got his hat on. Does he feel like he has to disguise himself out of his Indiana Jones outfit because he'll be recognized as Indiana Jones? I don't understand what this ruse is.
This is an entirely a chaos ruse. Like he's just trying to confuse someone long enough that they can get in the door, and then he's going to punch them out. Like his intention is always that this is going to end with a fist to somebody's mush.
Yeah, I guess that's my point. Is like, if it is going to end with a fist to the face, then why not just barge in with a fist through the face?
Well, he doesn't know who's going to answer the door. It could be 8 Nazis.
See,
I guess so.
That's why I had my Pink Panther opening. This is like right out of the Pink Panther. It was like a scene. Yeah, it was a scene. This does nothing about the scenes anything like an Indiana Jones movie at all.
It is. I was trying to tally in my head the times we've seen Harrison Ford, not even Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford get goofy.
Yeah, never.
And I think there's a slightly in Blade Runner when he's pretending to be like some investigator guy when he's when he's talking to Joanna Cassidy. He's got kind of puts on like a nerd voice a little bit.
Yeah.
And he sings in American Graffiti as Bob Falfa. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other goofball stuff he does in any movie.
He doesn't get to play this kind of a character all that much, but he sees the breadth of it in the character he's created for Indiana Jones, that he could get away with doing something like this. This is like Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China when he puts on the nerd glasses and the tie. And he's like, hey, everybody.
It is. Totally.
Yeah. And he never gets to play that. This is fun.
And I did those minutes on the show.
Do you think the Scottish accent is making fun of his dad? Do you think he's doing it as a... he grew up hearing that accent, so he's like, hey, I'm going to just imitate my dad.
Man, if he was doing a Sean Connery accent at the door, that would be killer.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, wait, why does Indiana Jones not have an Irish accent? Or a Scottish accent, whatever it's supposed to be? If his dad has that accent, why doesn't he?
If he grew up in the U.S., he would have just had what all the kids had.
I guess so. But there's not even a hint.
He was in school complaining about his dad, talking about the old country all the time.
Yeah. Dad, you're messing up my pronunciation of stuff. Everyone's making fun of me.
You just don't understand me, Dad.
I've got a question for you, Jer.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous when you have to open a door from the inside with a key?
Yes.
That makes me so nervous.
Yes, I do. I do. And now that we're on it, I have a question for you, Pete. You have a mild anxiety disorder, like me. We're on the third season here, like I do. Of all the diseases that Indiana Jones carries, which one did he just infect the butler with? With that sneeze. And I know you know what I'm talking about. There's an actual phlegm piece that shoots out across the butler's face.
This minute was hard for me to watch.
Yeah.
Yucko.
There's actually nothing grosser in any gore, blood, whatever, beheadings and stuff. Nothing is grosser than when someone in a fit of anger or disgust spits in somebody's face.
Yeah.
That is just disgusting.
We had that in Temple of Doom,
and I mean, who knows what? I mean, Indiana Jones could be the vector for. Myriad diseases. He's been all over the world and jungles everywhere,
Like Typhoid Indy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well of Souls whooping cough.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah.
I like when they walk in here and Elsa has a funny look on her face when she looks at the butler. And I'm wondering if they recognize each other. Like, I'm wondering if he knows who she is.
Just play along.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if that's what she's doing.
That's reasonable,
'Cause
yeah.
then she starts to wince in a minute, like she's afraid he's going to get hit.
Well, also, she knows how
right.
stupid this is, so she's like, haha, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
I do like the little laugh when Indy drags her over by her hand, and she kind of does the little, like, hee hee hee.
The
Yeah,
scene,
yeah.
I mean, the scene,
Nice.
like Harrison Ford, everybody does an amazing job in the scene.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I came in like watching like, oh, this is going to be brutal. You know what I mean? Because, but the scene itself is terrific. It just doesn't seem like anything you would ever find in any Indiana Jones movie.
Wow. You know, I owe myself $1 now, or I cost myself $1. I have in my notes, Jerry hates this scene and Pete loves
Oh
it.
yeah. Well,
I don't love it, and Jerry doesn't hate it. That's
Oh, interesting.
you
God,
lost $2.
I'm horrible at this. It is jarring, but it is fun.
it is.
It is fun.
I think it's fun seeing Harrison Ford being a goofball, even if it doesn't totally make sense.
Jerry, you have to appreciate the use of the word buttle.
Oh, I absolutely do,
Oh, yeah.
and I actually had to look that up. I have no idea. That's
that's what
that
buttlers do.
is a verb to buttle. It's like buttle off. I've never heard that before. And also, there's something in the next minute that I think makes me accept this minute a little better. We'll get to it.
Oh, I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would. Yeah.
There is something in the next minute also I want to tease. Around second 50 or so here, there's a sarcophagus standing on the wall in the background, and everyone should notice it. And I just want to point out that it looks exactly like the butler.
Oh,
Do you
my
think he
God,
lives in there?
Oh my
or-
God.
Well, there's a deleted scene coming up next minute that it would have played into.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
I thought that was an
Wow.
Iron Maiden.
Oh, you're right. I see
maybe.
it.
It intentionally looks exactly like the butler.
Wow,
Oh
okay.
my God, you're
That's
absolutely right.
hysterical. Wait, you know that for a fact? Like they actually made it look like him?
Yeah. Well, I'll bring it up next minute when there was the deleted
cool.
scene. Yeah.
Oh, that's a solid tease right there.
Going back to what Jerry was saying about this not being like an Indiana Jones movie in this scene. Like, we've only got the 3 or 4 movies to tell us what an Indiana Jones movie is like anyway. It's not very much like Raiders, but, you know, the thing I wanted more out of this whole series more than anything is just to take the character that they made in Raiders and just throw him into weirder situations. You know, what is that guy like in a race? What is he like in a war movie? What is he like in a romance movie? And see what he does. And what's great about this and Temple of Doom, along with Raiders, and I'm not going to say that any of them are better than Raiders, but I enjoy them all, is that Temple of Doom is what is he like in a horror movie, and this one is like what is he like in this kind of European comedy adventure. And he's allowed to, even though it's the same character and we're not violating the character at all like we maybe do later on in other movies, he's still able to kind of stretch out and do scenes like this that still end with him being this kind of badass adventurer.
Right.
Right. Do you wonder? I just started wondering this now. I'm looking at Allison Duty here, and she does a great job, just sort of like as the the straight man in this kind of 2-person thing. How would Marion or Willie have done in this exact same situation?
Marion would have decked the guy. Yeah.
Marion would have just slammed the door in his face. Yeah, knocked him out cold.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of them could have done a pretty good job with this scene.
I guess there's not much required of them. I guess I'm just trying to imagine it. Yeah.
It's a performance, so I bet Willie would have done pretty good, but I think that Marion would have just taken over and kind of like run the show better than he would have.
Yeah. Although I'm wondering if Willie would have done that. If she, like, I'm thinking of her interjecting constantly and in such an annoying way in India, in the village when they're trying to get the story out of the guy, and we crashed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like maybe she'd just be like interjecting too much. And
Yeah, and I'd like Andrew said, I think Marion, like Indy, would be doing his accent and his little act here, and she would just be, would you come on? And she just slugged the butler.
Jones,
I hit him over the head with a candlestick.
yeah, finds a frying pan in that sarcophagus.
Do we have anything about the actor playing the butler, or should we save that for the next minute? I've got one note.
You can do it now.
Well, this guy's Vernon Dubchef. I love him as this butler here, but he also is in a Bond movie, so he's kind of got a 6 Degrees thing going on with Sean Connery, though it's actually a Roger Moore Bond movie. He plays this Egyptian art dealer in The Spy Who Loved Me, I think.
Oh wow,
That's kind of hanging around the pyramids.
Huh.
that's cool.
And it's very Like the rest of this scene, which ruins the word tapestries for anybody who watches it more than once. Like seeing him in this scene, and he shows up in a Bond movie, and you expect that he's going to be complaining about tapestries, and he doesn't. It's very jarring.
Do you think he and Alison Doody behind the scenes were talking about how much cooler Roger Moore is than Sean Connery, since they were both in Roger Moore Bond movies?
I mean, Sean Connery would overhear that stuff and have words.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. Never say never again.
I like that we have tapestries in this movie, and in last movie we had flapestries. Yeah,
right.
and I'm wondering if, hey, maybe these guys listen to our show.
They went back in time to make the movies we remember. Yeah.
Was there a tapestry equivalent in Raiders? I don't know.
There was a Jawa ghost in the one with
Yeah,
souls.
that's
kind
kind
of
of like it. Yeah,
thing.
that's right.
Yeah.
You know what's really strange is, like, the color palette, especially on the outside before they get in the castle, the color palette is very, very dark and drab, except for Elsa's Electra royal blue scarf. And she and I guess the beret. The beret is matching, I think. But it's really, really interesting because it sticks out. It's like all I could see on the screen. So, and I'm wondering, because I looked it up, so blue symbolizes loyalty, which is ironic. But it also symbolizes intelligence and a distant lack of emotion. Those kind of, yes. They do. They clearly feature it, though, from a wardrobe perspective here. I didn't see.
It's almost a spoiler.
They shouldn't have shown that.
Now the audience is totally keyed in that she's not to be trusted.
Well, in Indy's mind, she brings along her own blue sky with her smile.
Hey. Let's punch Pete off the truck and off a cliff.
Okay.
Let's smile at him.
You got to be careful smiling at that guy. Yikes.
Yeah.
Really? I don't know how he's going to react.
This minute ends with Indiana Jones saying, like, "Oh, this is a castle, isn't it? You have tapestries." And the guy goes, "Yes, it is a castle." So I assumed the line ends there, of course. and I like to think this is kind of a win for him, right? Like he really wanted this guy to admit what kind of a building this was. And I like the idea that as a pet project, he's just going around forcing people to admit the style of edifice they're in. Maybe this is kind of, it's like an aspect of him being a teacher. He just has to be didactic to everybody, you know? I picture him back in Cairo, and he's like, "Listen, Belloc, you want to talk to God? Then you've got to admit that this bar is an adobe construction using techniques dating back to at least the Middle Egyptian period." Like, fine, okay.
Gotcha. Score one for Indiana Jones.
And then you just hear do. Like, that's right.
As he winks at the camera.
Yeah. Norman fell. Jerry,
wait a
Don't
minute.
interrupt. That's terrible. What are you doing?
It's not me. The telegraph. It's coming
Telegraph can
alive.
interrupt whenever she wants.
This just in from Professor Christy Porter. If you were going to break your kidnapped dad out of a castle on the German-Austrian border, what would you pack?
No, interesting. A whip, a pistol,
Yeah.
a hat.
A whip, a pistol, a
tie.
hat. Okay. An electric blue scarf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How about this? There's a lanyard. Boop, boop, boop.
Okay.
Who would you invite?
I'd probably invite Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Inspector Clouseau.
He's got those long legs, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah.
know what's interesting though is that question does does call to mind here. On every adventure, Indy just completely goes by himself, or if you think about like the beginning of Raiders, he kind of hires the local help, I assume, who are certainly not on his side.
Yeah.
So he never. I mean, I guess. Yeah. He sort of invites Sala, kind of.
What you're pointing out is really cool, and it's highlighted really well in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That
Never heard.
Indy's move is to his weapon is himself. Like his move is to throw himself at whatever is going on. You know, if there's a problem, he jumps into the pit to figure it out. If there's an enemy, he flings himself at the enemy to just like fists flying. He is just fight or flight all the time, and he's just kind of getting by on luck. He's got some knowledge, but it's mostly just luck. So, yeah, like, of course, Indiana Jones, the natural thing to do to scale a castle is to just kind of show up with your whip and your hat and hope it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool if Kazem went with him? Wouldn't that be kind of awesome?
Yeah.
He was
that
like
would
his
be.
buddy,
Yeah.
like not like even sidekick, but just like, hey, you're good with trying to kill me. Why don't you try to kill the other people who we're both enemies of?
They're pals.
Come
Yeah.
help me and help me save my dad.
Be kind of like a Wild Bunch situation.
And
Yeah.
it's really strange. Yeah, and we all thought it was kind of strange and unusual that he just vanished.
Right.
Yeah.
He just kind of like, well, I guess I'm done here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he walks off the jetty.
What a turn the movie would have taken, though, hey? It's like, oh, man, you want to help me get my dad out? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I don't know how we're going to do this. Do you happen to have an army in there? Well, actually. And then suddenly it's this assault on the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a half
You know
hour
what,
movie.
though? Yeah, it would have been like a reverse Crusades there, right? So, all the guys coming from the Byzantine Empire attacking Germany. But you know what? I just thought about that. We would have had to deal with Chasm's theme.
Oh, his
Like,
theme.
like a whole, yeah, it would have been like a whole score and John Williams motif for,
Tom would have been furious.
yeah.
Every time he's on
Oh
TV.
my gosh. What he does in every movie, and it never bothers me except in these.
Cosm's theme.
Well, on that note, Andrew, you strike a lot of themes, and I know you've got several irons in the fire.
Oh, man, I really do. Most of those irons are kind of cooling at the moment, but you can find me over at No Time for Heroics, of course, and also at Monster Squad Minute, which is on a little hiatus because one of us moved very far away, and we're trying to figure out how to pick it up again. But you'll be able to find that. We've got quite a back thing, and hopefully by the time this airs, we'll be back on the air.
Cool. Yeah, definitely check those out. And if you like tapestries, check out our store on TeePublic. Just look up Indiana Jones Minute on TeePublic, and I think you can actually buy wall hangings with some of our designs, as well as t-shirts or
absolutely.
pillows or the infamous tote bag. So check us out there, and check us out back here tomorrow for minute 47 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.